I gotta look pretty. I'm so pretty. Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Garrett here, and today I just want to do a fun little video, sort of top 10 albums thing, as you can probably read from the title. I guess I don't really need to introduce any video anymore because it's always going to be in the title. But yeah, anyway, just the top 10 albums. Little video for you guys to tell you some of my influences over the course of me being on this earth, listening to music. These are my top 10 favorites. I might do some more list videos like this, like my top 10 guitarists, top 10 favorite mixes, guilty pleasures, drinking songs, top 10 over 10-minute songs, stuff like that. Let me know if you guys have any ideas in the comment section below, and if this is the type of video you'd like to see, and I'll do some more. Alright, so for this top 10 albums video, I thought about it for a while, and I looked at my list here, and I thought it needs to be something where I turn it on nowadays, and I'm like, yes, like, it just feels really good to turn on. It's my absolute favorite. Like, I really love, like, you know, most of the songs on this album. So that's what this list has turned out to be. Another thing about this list is I didn't want any duplicates from the same band, or else this list would just consist of like 4 bands. So I just thought it would be fair and give you maximum range of shit that I listen to, if that makes any sense. What's the first one? Let me pull up the album so I can remember what the f I'm talking about. Alright, so number 10, Nightwish's Dark Passion Play. This is an album that I guess then some of you might be surprised by. For me, this is an album, a lot of these albums are actually going to be a throwback to around this time, so 2007, 2010, anywhere in between there. These are really nostalgic albums for me, a time that was like high school and, you know, friends and bands, stuff like that. So this album kind of takes me back and just has some really good songs. You know, Bye Bye Beautiful, Amaranth, Cadence Her Last Breath has like a really, really good little solo, which I've been thinking about doing a cover of for a long time. But really, just the whole tone of the album for me is really, really great. And just the songwriting is, again, really good. It's almost like pop music, right? But for me, it's, I don't know, it just has that metal side, which is just like the perfect combo. I really like elements of pop. That's where I get a lot of my phrasing for guitar techniques, is like a vocal melody. So Nightwish really does a trick with that, with the female vocals. And I really do like Annette's vocals. A lot of people say, you know, Tarja and Floor are the best, and they are really, really good, and those songs that they've done are really good. But I really did like these songs with Annette. I thought she did a great job, and her voice sounded really good. Alright, so number 9, Morse Principia Mass, Dawn of the Fifth Era. Now this might seem like I'm just promoting my friend Andy Gillian, but no, before I met Andy, I was actually a huge, huge fan, and still am a fan of Morse Principium. I think the music is really good, and ever since Andy joined, the music has gotten to that next level. And this is one that's kind of torn. I was tied between Dawn of a Fifth Era and Embers of a Dying World. Really, really close. Going through some of the songs here, let's take a listen. Really, it's just banger after banger after banger. We got God Has Fallen, it just comes out swinging with that verse riff. Leaders of the Titans, super, super good. We Are the Sleep, I Am of War, Monster in Me, the single, might be my favorite. I don't know. I like to think I don't like to pick the single as my favorite, but in this case, I think I am. I don't know. I Am of War is my girlfriend's favorite, and a lot of people's favorites as well. That one's really, really good. The Forsaken with those epic sweeps in there, and the sweep tapping. And the production, I should say, on this album is also what makes it next level. I think Plek did it, right? You can see his studio, Andy's studio diaries. Plek's always in there, and he did the last album, Embers of a Dying World, which sounds even better than this album. I didn't think it was possible to top Dawn of a Fifth Era, but both sound really, really good. So number 8, In Flames, Sounds of a Playground Fading. This might be a little controversial. Controversial? Seal or shield? Controversial. I don't even know how to speak my own language. There's other YouTubers out there that's English is their second language, and I'm over here just butchering. This is why I play guitar, right, people? I just spit too. Alright, this is going well. Where are we? A lot of people, when they think In Flames, they think Clayman and Horacle, and yes, I do really, really love those albums. But for me, this album, Sounds of a Playground Fading, I might just be a little bit of a music quality kind of freak, because this right here is one of my favorite mixes of all time, and I might even like it just on that. I don't even know. I remember I listened to it the first time, and I was like, okay, it's pretty good. And then once I listened to it more and more, I just got more and more addicted to it. My favorite ones, Deliver Us, again, the single. I think that's the first one I heard, and I was just like, damn, this sounds massive. The kick drum especially on this sounds really, really good. And then another one I really like is Fear is the Weakness. That song, that chorus, where is that guy? I need to hear it. Yeah, I love that chorus. That is definitely money. I don't know what does it for me. It's just really, again, that quality, the sound of this album really just kind of like hugs you, if that makes sense. The mix just really feels huge, and I just absolutely love it. Really, really good job, whoever mixed this album. I should look him up and maybe put that in the notes. But yeah, this album's also from around 2011, so again, that era really has that nostalgia for me. Enter Tragedy, that's the one. Yeah, really, really good. And then I think my favorite song, actually, it's either The Fear is the Weakness, or it's A New Dawn. There's that bridge section there that just absolutely kills it. I'm going to play a clip of it. I don't care about the copyright on this one. So they actually brought an orchestra in for this part. It's really, really good. And just the build-up is super solid for that. When he comes back in on the vocal, just... Oh, and how he goes in that solo right there, that epic wah note. Oh, it gets me so hyped. I love that. All right, so number 6? 7. Wow. I was hoping it was 6. Wishful thinking. So number 7, we got Dissection's Reign Chaos album. Probably the only black metal album that's going to make this list. Not that I don't like black metal. I really do like black metal, but this album for me is not even really black metal. It's sort of melodic death. The production on this sounds really, really good, and even from it being 2006, so 13 years old, most of these songs are really, really good. I mean, you start off with Beyond the Horizon, super good. Oh, why do I fumble over every fucking title? Yeah. The production of this is really good, but I should also say the guitar tone, the drum sound again, and his vocals for me are just, oh man, they're one of the best vocals for me. His sound is really, really good. And again, the songs, this one just comes out swinging. Starless Aeon's really good, but for me, Black Dragon and Dark Mother Divine, also God of Forbidden Light, just my top. I mean, those are just really, really good songs for me. Absolutely some of my favorites. Just really good choruses and just kind of catchy. Again, it's not even really about the guitar solos, and I think you'll see that with a lot of this list. There's almost no soloing in this list is one thing I've kind of realized while looking at this. I'm not really into that. These top albums, it isn't the solos that make them for me, it's the music. And the songwriting in this, again, is why it's so, so good. Don't touch that.
It was sitting on the...
Yeah, that's okay. Okay, thank you. Fun fact, where I actually got the band name Shadowless from was from the song God of Forbidden Light, when he says God of Shadowless Light. I thought the way he says it is just so cool that I was like, oh, Shadowless Light, that would be a cool title. But it was actually my girlfriend. I was like, why don't you just call it Shadowless? And I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. And that's how I got the band name Shadowless. Usually people have a deeper meaning with why they chose a band name. Like, it'll be a foreign language that'll have like some cool, like, you know, meaning or whatever. Nope, I just thought the way it was sung sounded cool and the word was cool. So yeah, that's how I got Shadowless. Again, really, really great metal album, black metal album. If you're just trying to even get into black metal, I'd say it'd be a good kind of entry into black metal. I don't know, maybe
black
not.
Black metal for people who don't like black metal.
Yeah, there you go, yeah. It's black metal for people that don't like black metal. That's a really good way of putting it for sure. Yeah, something about this too is it's like, it's really dark, but it's also like not. It's like, something about it feels like good. I don't know, I don't know if that explains it well at all, but just when I'm listening to it, it's dark, but it just feels right. Like, I just want to see these songs so bad live. That's a question that if I ever did a top 10 or like another list video, you know, who would you want to see? What's one concert you'd like to see if you had to choose living or dead guitar player? It would probably be Dissection. Like, I'd probably die there, but like, it'd be worth it, right? It'd be pretty sick. So yeah. Number 6, we have Camelot's, I think, which one am I going with? Ghost Opera. So again, this is one of those where it would take up most of my list if I could do a top 10 albums and include some from the same band, because this was like a 3-way tie between Ghost Opera, Karma, and of course The Black Halo. All really, really, really good albums. But for me, I chose Ghost Opera in the end because I think for me it was one of those things where I had heard the band. It was one of those, like, I heard the band after they'd already had albums out, and this album came out when I'd already been into the band, so I had like high hopes, and then they absolutely knocked it out of the park for me. I thought the album, again, production-wise, super, super good. Songs are really, really good. And again, that timing, 2007, again, kind of like the magic number here with these albums of when they came out. Just really, really good time. It always takes me back, a real throwback when I listen to this album. And Roy Khan, I mean, God, probably one of my favorite clean vocalists of all time. Absolutely love it. Not so crazy about the guitar tone on these albums, but again, the overall sound with all these that I'm choosing, it always comes from, like, I guess when I listen to these albums, they really help take me to a different place. It's really like in a form of escapism, and really just paints a picture. I can't put it any other way. Some of my favorite tracks, Rule the World, again, a great song to open up the album with, and then it comes right into the single, Ghost Opera, which is another great song. But for me, I think my favorites are absolutely, again, these might be a little underrated, the Human Stain and Love You to Death. Those are really good. Eden Echo and The Pendulous Fall, like, just really, really good songs. Another thing I like about this album is that it's Camelot. They're almost like pop songs, right? Very simple structure. But what they do really well is that second verse. When you come back into it, they do something just a little bit extra. I think you hear that a lot in the Human Stain. They just do like this little vocal trick on one of the parts in there that just really just like, gives me like some chills. Where's that part? Let's take a listen. The ticking of the clock, the sound of life itself. No one really wants to go. Yeah, and then just the way the drums will pick up from there and go into it the next part. Just little things like that. They do a lot in their songs, and for me, it just makes it not so stagnant. All right, so number 5, we're halfway there. Whoa, it's not Bon Jovi. It's Children of Bodom, and the album I've chosen, again, this would be it'd be more of a 2-way tie than a 3-way, but I chose Hate Crew Death Roll as my favorite from Children of Bodom. And this is, again, nostalgia. The first song I ever heard was Needle 24/7, and I just remember hearing that, and I wasn't even into melodic death metal at all at this point in time in my listening. What do you call that? In my life, I wasn't even close to getting on board with melodic death metal. I was still listening to like AC/DC, like classic rock stuff. And I think I just heard the song randomly on like MTV or something. And was just like, damn, this song sounds like nothing I'd ever heard of. I was just like, oh, what the hell is this? This is incredible. And it definitely paved my way into the melodic death metal world. So that's part of why it's big on my list. It's also super, super close with Hatebreeder. I'd say that one's closer. Follow the Reaper, really, really good, but not as close as those two. Those two were the ones where I really had to be like, which one for me? And I'm sure more people would say Hatebreeder, but for me, I'm choosing Hate Crew because this is my list, all right? Not only does this have Needle 24, it's got 6-pounder, Chokehold, that keyboard solo is just super good. The guitar work on this album is definitely, just some of the best. The riffing, not only the solos, the riffing, and then the keyboard solos as well, just everything about this. But I really think, like, man, Bodom knows how to write a song. Not only play interesting instrumental parts like they have in here, and they got that new classical stuff a little bit in here as well, just how to write a song and just like really kind of throw the book out the window, right? Not doing your simple verse chorus, so kind of the opposite of the last one with the Camelot, just really doing whatever you want. If you really like sit down and look at the structure of these songs, it's just chaos. And I think Alexi definitely knows how to write a song and just kind of go with it. And it's something I definitely try and take in when I'm writing a song, but I definitely have a little bit of a hard time with. I kind of really focus on structure, but I think sometimes you just need to let go and jam and rock out, and I think that's what this album does a really, really good job of. Not so big on the production of this album. I know a lot of people actually think Bodom production is really, really good. For me, the best Bodom production is probably Halo Blood, actually. I really like that one. But for me, this stuff is a little old, but still really good. I mean, this is 2008, so this is, again, 11 years old. But for me, it wasn't necessarily about the quality. For this, it's really the songs and the guitar playing. Again, going down the list, Boat and Beach Terror, super, super good. Angels Don't Kill, I mean, that's obviously one of the big singles. For me, not one of my favorites. I'd say my favorite little lead line has to be, my favorite riff, I should say, is the Little Blood Red Riding Hood riff. Where's that guy? Ow! My elbow. Oh, yeah, I could just see myself going on forever. That song's super good. And where's that? There's a little lead line here that I've always wanted to play, but it's honestly terrifying. I think it's a string skipping alternate picked lick. Let's hear it. This one. Oh, this lick scares me legitimately. There's nothing else you can really say. Just honestly, the whole thing is really good. Hate Crew Death Roll as well, the song itself. Triple Course Hammer Blow. I mean, literally, there isn't one bad song in here. There's one bad song, actually, and it's the fucking bonus track, that fucking Slayer song. Every time that shit comes on, I'm like, God damn it, why haven't I deleted this yet? Just kidding, I deleted it a long time ago. But I forgot what that was called, but they had a Slayer cover on here forever, and if you like Slayer, that's fine, but for me, I was just like, what is this? I thought for the longest time it was a real track, I think, because of course I pirated it way back in the day. Oh shit, shots fired. But anyway, it never said on my rip that it was like an extra or bonus track, a cover track. I always thought it was an actual song. I'm like, this sounds weird, doesn't really blend in with the rest of the song. That's because it's not one of their songs. That makes perfect sense, and that's why I deleted it. So anyway, yeah, just a little side jab. I don't know. Number 4, we got Ensiferum. Again, another toss-up. This is between self-titled album, Ensiferum, as well as Iron. Both really, really, really good albums. I think I've switched before. I think when I first got into the band, I really liked Iron more, but I think now, when I look at this track list, I think I choose the self-titled album, Ensiferum. These are albums with, Yari of Winter Sun, so it's going to be up there for me. Definitely love that guy's work. His songwriting is absolutely incredible, but I think I noticed that a majority of these songs are written by the other guitar player. I'm going to look up his name. Marcus Toivonen. I definitely said that right. Again, this album's from 2001, so 18 years old. The mix is pretty good. It's not like perfect or anything, but for 2001, really, really good. But what really gets me for this Ensiferum music is the picture that it paints in the folk music, and just, again, that escapism. When I listen to it, I almost like get lost in the music. I don't even know where we are in the song. So like if you just pulled up a random part of the song, I couldn't tell you whether we were at the beginning, middle, or end. And so it's very different from that like simple pop structure where you have like obvious intro, verse, okay, here we go, chorus, and then okay, we're going to go back to the verse. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's so obvious where you are. These songs really just have so many different riffs and go crazy, just all over the place. I almost forget that I'm even listening to good guitar when I'm listening to folk metal. I guess the flutes and the other instruments, the keyboards more so, are doing a lot of the heavy work as well. And yeah, I don't know. I like that. I guess that's weird coming from a guitar player saying that he wants to not notice the guitars, but for me, I hyper focus on guitars when I listen to music, and for this and folk metal in general, it does that for me. It really takes me away from that, and I think that's cool. I think it helps me relax a little bit more, if that makes sense. Going over the track list, I mean, I could name them all for you. And again, it's the songwriting here. I think Yari, I just looked it up on Wikipedia, he wrote Token of Time, but then he also co-wrote Hero in a Dream and Guardians of Fate, and of course those are really, really good. But you just keep going down. Old Man, Little Dreamer, Abandoned, Wind Rider, Treacherous Gods, has one of the most epic parts ever. I'm gonna play it for you. Just the line that he says is, "The land is silent before the storm," and just like the perfect build up for it, and it's just like, oh, it's so sick. Just want to just feel like you're riding on a horse and you're just going into battle and you're just gonna shit up. Honestly, yeah, Theorem, if I ever was had to be on the front lines, that would be the music blaring through my ear holes. That would definitely be it. That just sounds so sick, and dying to this music would probably be pretty metal too. So I don't know. Again, another thing I want to say as I'm listening to this is the drumming on this is really, really good. I mean, again, just another element. Not only the keyboards, the vocals, the guitars, and the songwriting, it's the drums as well. I think that guy has really intricate little fills that I just absolutely love. Oliver Fokin. It's Fokin. Anyway, I think I've read interviews before about him and Jari like growing up together and kind of switching instruments. I think Oliver played guitar a little bit, and then he played drums, and then Jari played drums and also guitar. And I think that they both ended up, Oliver stuck with drums and Jari stuck with guitar. And I don't know, I think having a little bit of guitar sense when you know how to drum, I think that kind of helps. I think his fills speak to a guitar player. I don't know, at least to me, when I hear them, I'm just like, ooh, that sounds great. And even if they're like a little bit simple for me, I definitely really notice them and get off on them. I think, again, that also happens with the dissection album, I should mention as well. The drumming is simple, but just enough. It's not too over the top. For me, if drums get too chaotic and crazy, I kind of just like, I'm not, it doesn't feel like music to me. So I don't know, for me, I like that a lot. My number 3 pick, Dark Tranquillity's Fiction album. This is, again, super, super close with the Character album. This band, again, just probably going to be in my definitely in my top 10 band list, because they've been so consistent. But not only have they been consistent in their sound, but they've just really done a great job. Every era, every album has like a different type of sound to it. They've always changed their dynamic, I guess, but kept that Dark Tranquillity sound, and I love that. But this, for me, Fiction was their pinnacle, melodic death metal, just high quality. Again, it was one of those things where I had heard Character, and then going into it, Fiction was coming out. I'm like, there's no way they top Character. There's just no way. And then they just absolutely hit it out of the park. Every track on here, super, super good. And it really hits that nostalgia spot. Again, 2007. Man, that was just a great year. Wow. To name my favorites, again, I do love the single Terminus, Where Death is Most Alive. Super, super good. The Mundane and the Magic with the girl on vocals. Why do I not know people's names? Nell Sigland. Theater of Tragedy? Is that her band? I might have to look that up because I like her voice and I really like it on that track. Another track that I really like that I think is underrated, I should say, is Icifer. I think it has a, is that the one I like or is it the one I skip? I can't remember. No, it's this one. This chorus. Oh, damn it. Oh, I'm just gonna like have a real like listening party after this. Just listen to all of these for like a day straight because these are just so good. And another thing I should mention with Dark Tranquillity is just Michael Stahn's vocals. Stane? I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I think I've actually asked him before and just completely forgot because I'm a fucking idiot. But anyway, just really love the tone that he gets in his voice. Definitely stands out. No one sounds like him, and again, it just really matches the music really, really well for me. The guitars as well, the music, the songwriting. Again, I do a lot of listening to song structures and try to notice what bands are doing, and this is one of those bands where they actually stay in that simple pop structure where it's like verse, chorus. You know, obviously even a pre-chorus riff thrown in there every now and then. And for me, it fools me. I didn't notice that it was that basic. So I think that goes a long way if you can do that. If you have such a simple pop structure and, you know, it doesn't seem like it. It's just something for me I've never really heard before and I still have never heard in other bands. I feel like that's like most of this video is me just sitting here saying, man, this album is just so good. And I just have almost no way to explain it. But I guess that's, you know, that's your favorite music. I mean, there's almost, sometimes there is no explanation for it. You just love it because you love it. Alright, so number 2, we got Sonata Arctica's Silence album. Now for me, this band means so much. I really love their sound. and Tony Kakko's voice, super, super good. Absolutely love it. But for me, again, this would have taken like 4 spots on my list between Ecliptica, Winter Hearts Guild, Silence, and Reckoning Night. Those would probably be literally 2, 3, 4 on my list. I love them so much. But for me, Silence takes the cake. They've all, again, interchanged between my favorites. At one point I've said Ecliptica was my favorite. At one point I've said the other ones were my favorite. But I always go back to Silence because that was, again, the first one I heard. Again, the whole thing about this video is it's nostalgia based, right? And for me, I remember the first time I heard it. I actually remember the very first time I found this album was actually my buddy. Back in the day, I think there was like these blogs or where people would change music, like they all downloaded certain music and then they would share it with each other or something like that. I don't know how it worked, but anyway, my friend downloaded a ton of music, just so much music. And this is when I was just, again, first starting to get into guitar. And I went over to his house and he let me choose. And I remember specifically picking this album because of its artwork. I was just like, whoa, that looks cool. I was like, what is that? And I literally just said, let me have that based on the artwork. And again, this was back when I was listening to like more classic rock, like Guns N' Roses and AC/DC, you know, super young in high school. So for me, listening to this back then and finding this type of music, power metal, was just so crazy. I was just like, what is this? It took me a while to get into this. It wasn't until I met my friends, Chris Koshon and Eric Seal of my band Massidia, who really said, oh yeah, Sonata Arctica, we know who that band is. Have you heard of this band? Stradivarius, you know, Symphony X, and just started just showing me so many other bands. It's not until I met those guys that I really dove into power metal and got into that whole realm. But this was the album that paved the way, so to speak. Getting right into it, it does that whole like of silence thing, and then just that swell into Web Allergy. I'm gonna play like the end of it. It's just super fast paced, and the keyboards just so atmospheric and just sounds happy too. It's probably gonna sound weird if I don't play the whole swell. When you have the randomizer on and it goes to a different song on your playlist, that's fucking weird. Oh my god, that felt so weird. When you've heard the album in order so many times and you know exactly I even know the pause, how long the pause is, like the millisecond feel of it for me, because it doesn't blend perfectly. That felt just wrong. So let's try that one more time. What a weird fucking line. The lyrics in this album are the weirdest shit ever. I've never read them, at least. I think I've just noticed random lines like that. The super random, but again, it's not about the lyrics. It's about the music. And again, Tony's voice and the way he's singing stuff in this is just so good. And then the music itself is just, it really takes me back, I must say. You can probably hear it in my voice now by the end of this video. I'm getting more excited about these because, again, it's my favorites. And again, this album, front to back, really. Web Allergy, False News Travels Fast. The end of this chapter is super epic, that piano part. Black Sheep with that really, really good guitar intro. Let's check that one out. I gotta play that one. Every single song, even when you get to the back end, oh yeah, my favorite. I remember, I don't know if I actually ever saw it live. I said I remember, but I don't. But Wolf and Raven, definitely probably one of my favorite tracks. That intro lick, of course, super, super legendary, especially if you're getting the guitar. It just sounds so sick, and it's also really, really hard to play, even still. It's got that inside picking. I just realized something. How many bands on this list are from Finland? I feel like it's literally at least half. Number 1 is going to be from Finland. You can take a guess. Probably no. But number 2 is also Theorem, Children of Bodom. Camelot is like weird. They're not from Finland. No. Dissection, definitely not. In Flames is Swedish. So still Scandinavia. but not. Nightwish as well is also Finnish. And then Morse is like all over the place, but I think Ville is from Finland, so I think that technically counts. So at least half my list is Finnish. That's kind of crazy. Finland. You guys know what the fuck is up. We finally made it. We're at my #1 all-time favorite album, and you might know what it is. Here we go, drum roll. It is Winter Sun's Winter Sun, or Jari Mäenpää. I'm not sure what's the actual title, if it's his name. His name's on the album cover, but anyway, you know what album it is. Definitely the album I've probably listened to the most in my life, I should say. I absolutely love it. I don't think I've ever skipped it if it ever comes on shuffle, any of the songs. Again, front to back, it's only 8 songs, but every single song on this is really good. But I guess, again, for me, what really does it for me, this album, is obviously the guitar work. And included in this album choice for me is the soloing. The guitar work is definitely what takes it over the edge. But not only that, the songwriting, super, super good. I mean, you just open up with Beyond the Dark Sun, you got that I don't know, it's just super, super sick. I remember the first time I heard this and I saw that, music video, and I was just like, what is this? And I'd already been into melodic death metal, but hearing that was just like, it was just like, wow, you knew this was going to be good. For me, I think if I had to pick a favorite track, that's really, really difficult. I think for me, I'd have to say it's Battle Against Time. I really love that intro riff and that song in general. I think it does a really good use of just like different dynamics, playing the same riff over and over again, but like just these little differences here and there is what really takes it over the edge. I also think that Battle Against Time has my favorite guitar solo. I think a lot of people think Winter Madness is the best solo, and I think that, everybody has their own opinions. That's totally fine. But for me, Battle Against Time, when he's singing and has that crazy guitar solo going on and that sweep at the end, is just so, so perfect. I'm going to play a little bit of it. It's so good. Just the epitome of like just tension and just release at the end of that part right there. I just absolutely love it, man. There's so much to this album. Not only is it just the guitar playing and the vocals as well. I think the drumming has a ton to do with this album. I think Kai Hatto, again, hopefully I'm saying these right. I should really learn to like speak Finnish so I can say these names appropriately, because apparently all my favorite bands are Finnish bands. But yeah, I think he is really what makes this album. I think I've heard or read an interview where Jari said that he had the guitars and the vocals just done, completely written, and he just sent them to Kai and basically had Kai do pretty much whatever he wants. But I think that is what makes this album really, really good. Sometimes where a basic beat should go over a simple riff, it's not really a basic beat. There's some little nuances that Kai does that just keeps it interesting every single time I've heard it. Again, I've heard this album so many times, and every single time I'm listening to it, there's always something new to kind of notice and pinpoint, and I just absolutely love it. I think it's kind of what's missing in the newer Winter Sun material. I've heard that it's Jari, middying out the drums, and not that I don't think Yari's great or anything like that, but I think you can't replace Kai, a drummer like Kai. That man is insane, and I think it's why I really like this album, as well as Time as well. Time 1, really, I do love that album, but this album for me definitely takes the cake. So there you have it. There's my top 10 list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you think I missed out on anything. Is there any albums I should be listening to that make your list, or what's on your list? I want to know. I'm trying to get into more music myself, so always down to hear what you guys, love, top albums of all time. Let me know if you think my list is shit, and let me know if you want to see more of these videos. Again, I want to do some other types of lists just for fun in between, playing videos. I'm not going to just, start doing only top 10 lists or anything like that. I'm going to keep doing guitar stuff as well, but just sprinkle in some extra content for you guys. I'm trying to do more with this channel, and I really appreciate you guys still being here. I've been getting a lot of comments lately saying I'm an old subscriber, I'm a new subscriber, and that just feels great. So if you're new here, welcome, and if you're an old subscriber, thank you so much for being here. I hope you guys enjoy this content still. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in another video, okay? See you guys.